Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I'd still be here talking. But you guys know that we're here every day, all day, talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And I got to tell you, this is a first. That's right. It is a first in a long time. Because usually the first comment comes from Daniel, one of those many giant trolls. And I got to tell you, I think we need to put out a blue alert for those guys because they've been missing in action. I think that all of a sudden they're scared of the Dallas Cowboys because it's looking more and more like Zeke Elliot will play. As I reported a while ago, I kept telling you guys, look, one way or the other, Zeke Elliott's going to be there for the seasoning opener, be it through the NFL getting egg on their face and having to say uncle, or by court order. But one way or the other, Zeke Elliott was going to be there. Now, I want to welcome everybody who's already tuning in, and I see everybody just rolling through. Oh, there's Daniel. Daniel, I'm glad that you are not scared because he is trash. Well, you know, I feel somewhat vindicated. And this isn't the first time. There's many times where I have said stuff and people have told me you're an idiot. You know, like when I say Joe Boo needs a refill. And he definitely needs a refill. So let me go ahead and get Joe Boo a refill. But no, when I was talking about Dak Prescott after the Senior Bowl, people laughed at me. Joe Boo, I hope you don't mind if I have a little rum with you, but people laughed at me because they said, he's Tim Tebow with a slightly better arm. But he's from the Southeast Conference, man. You can't get a real quarterback from there. You need to go someplace like, I don't know, North Dakota State to get a quarterback. But I was all in on him. I said, man, that's the guy for the Cowboys. And people laughed at me. But it turns out, he who laughs last, laughs the hardest.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Well, thank you for that. How about them Cowboys? And all the super chats go to supporting the Joe Boo channel, and I appreciate it. Any chance we get TJ Ward? Well, there's always a chance. I won't say it's a good chance, but there's always a chance. But here's what we got to look at. What's been lost in the whole Zeke Elliott saga is that by tomorrow, some 1,000-plus NFL players will be on the streets. Some of them young, inexperienced, but also a lot of veterans that teams are looking at and saying, you know what, you make too much money, and I can get a young guy to do what you do. So there's some value shopping that's going to be going on. You know, we saw the big trade, of course, with Sheldon Richardson being traded to Seattle and so on. You know, there's going to be, you won't see trades. You'll see a lot of activity tomorrow. And actually, I really like the fact that the NFL changed and decided we're just going to have one cut at the end. Because then you're not putting a lot of veterans in harm's way that last preseason game because, quite frankly, it's a consolation bowl. But anyway, back to the Zeke Elliott situation. Woo! I feel vindicated. I kept saying that, you know what? When I listened to the 911 call, I kept saying, I'm sorry. She didn't sound like somebody that was abused.
Cooper finally made the team.
Okay. Okay. Michael's ecstatic because Cooper Rush has finally made Madden. Okay. All right. All right. And hopefully he'll be our number 2 quarterback instead of Kellen Moore.
I mean, this was good.
But when I kept pointing out the inconsistencies about all of this stuff, everybody kept, hammering away, especially the talking heads. And I got to tell you, it was fun watching First Take today. The way Molly, and don't get me wrong, I've met Molly. She does a lot of great work and stuff on human trafficking and everything else. She's beautiful, she's talented, and she has to work with 2 assholes. But the way she went off on Zeke Elliott, she knew that he was guilty. She knew that they should throw the book at him. I mean, she was basically suspended for a year. And you had Stephen A. Smith quoting on the 19th, on the 20th, on the 20th, 5 times this guy didn't get it. Because what bothered me was They immediately took the credibility of the NFL's report and said, that's a fact. Regardless that the police couldn't find anything. Regardless that we're hearing about blackmail. Regardless we're hearing about people who are asked to lie for her. Regardless of all these different facts and stuff, only thing we're going by is NFL. Because when they came out and said that 160 page, we did a thorough investigation. Here's 160 page. I would love to read that 160 page because I bet you it's full of some bullshit. Because you didn't put Kia Roberts in there. The only person, and I say the only person from the NFL to talk to, Tiffany. Now,
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about the Cowboys?
thank you, Space Cowboy. Now, you guys know I don't do much fantasy football and stuff because there's something wrong about rooting for anybody who isn't a Dallas Cowboy fan. But I'm not going to go ahead and condemn anybody that does. But as far as Jay Ajayi, I got to tell you, when he was in the draft, I swear I wanted the Cowboys to draft him. You can talk to Benet Emery. He actually went to Tyler High School, I believe, in Texas and stuff. That guy I knew was going to be the real deal, and he is a beasting. The Cowboys stayed away from him because there was concern about his knee and how well it was going to hold up. But as you've seen, with Miami having Jay Cutler, they're going to rely on the ball. So taking Jay Ajayi, yeah, he's going to get the ball out. See, unfortunately or fortunately, if you're a Cowboy fan, as far as fantasy numbers or as far as Pro Bowl numbers and things like that, the Cowboys are screwed because they're good everywhere. You don't have Julio Jones, where he's the number one guy and going to get the lion's share of the ball without a great running game. You've got, I'm sorry, Michael? Well, Bell, yeah. Stat-wise, yes. But you got Zeke Elliott who's going to run. But then you also have Cole Beasley who's going to catch a lot of passes in the slot. And then you have Jason Witten who's going to be your reception. God, let me drink some rum. Possession receiver. Rum does it every time, fellas. And then you've got Dez that's going to stretch the field. So everybody's getting a little bit. There's only so much that ball can go around. But Jay Ajayi is going to get the ball a lot more than Zeke Elliott will. So that's a good bet there, if you ask me. But back to Zeke Elliott. This whole thing was a crock of crap by the NFL. And I don't understand why they were so hell-bent on going after Zeke. Because in my mind, what they need to do, they can't be all-encompassing. They can't be the NFL and put out a great product and think that they are CSI NFL. They need to leave the legal stuff to the legal people who deal with it. And if a person is found guilty of a crime, then you deal with it. This crap of, oh, we're going to investigate, we got our own investigation team, and we're going to, the hell with the legal system. We're going to do our own thing.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about the Cowboys?
Mike Holmes, Cooper Rush, Madden 18 rating, please. Michael, what is Cooper Rush's Madden rating?
It's the same as Moore, 67.
It's the same as Moore, 67.
Moore has been in the league for 5 years.
Okay.
And Rush is a rookie. So you keep the rookie.
Okay.
Time to learn behind that.
Basically, it's the same rating as Kellen Moore. I don't do Madden. Forgive me. I know I'm old and all that. But
Kellen Moore's been in the league for 5 years.
Okay. Michael says stick with Cooper Rush because he's a rookie, he's young, and he's got the same rating as Kellen Moore. But whatever that means. So hopefully that helps you out on that one. So the whole thing. Okay. The whole thing with Zeke right now is making the NFL look really, really bad. And they need to let, like I was saying, the legal system be done by the legal people that do it. They need to stop with this stuff that we are the judge, the prosecution, and the executioner, as well as rehearing the trials. This stuff's crazy. So, with that being said, one last tad bit. the Boobygate thing. Apparently, that came up in the hearing. Okay, Michael says I shouldn't talk about it, but still, because I feel vindicated. Okay, regardless, poor judgment. Michael still believes he should be suspended for doing it. But here's the thing. No, hold on. The talking heads have acted like Zeke Elliot went out in the world.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about you, Cowboys?
Thank you very much, Johnny Man 24. Love you, Mark. What would have been the contract wise if we had signed Joe Hayden? From my understanding, the Cowboys could have saved money because next year we're going to be on a shopping spree. Well, here's the thing. He signed a $27 million contract, and I don't think I'd really want to pay that kind of money for him because he's aging, good guy. He's still a little bit small as far as a cornerback, and I'm not sure that I want to dump that kind of money because more times than not, if you look back at the history of free agent DBs, they're always getting in the $20 million range contracts, but very rarely do they hang around more than 2 years, and usually you're left with a big chunk of that money still on the cap. In fact, I believe part of that money is also still being paid by Cleveland because they're trying to get rid of him. So I'm okay that they didn't sign him for that much. There's going to be some value guys that are out there that are going to be cut between now and the end of the day tomorrow. So we're okay. I don't want to spend that kind of money. We got to get Zach Martin under contract, as well as some other stuff. You don't want to spend every single nickel that you have, if at all possible, because you never know when something big could come around and you want to keep that money for it. So let me go ahead and say hello to all of you wonderful people that are here tonight. Good grief. The house is full. I see Jason. I see Brandon. I see Ricardo. I see Paul. I see Charles Clorox Bleach. How you doing tonight, man? Clorox Bleach, I know you guys have won 2 Super Bowls since our last one, but I got to tell you, in 2013, Joe Boo, true story, went to the season opening game in New York, your Super Bowl party. In fact, I have a trophy over there, a scarf from that game, because a lot of people look around and say, what the hell is this? You've got memorabilia from other teams. Well, some of that stuff is trophies. And that is definitely a trophy from that night. Because, see, the Dallas Cowboys weren't supposed to have a chance that night. The Dallas Cowboys were just supposed to be fresh meat with you guys coming off the Super Bowl. But against all odds, on the road, the Dallas Cowboys came in there and kicked your ass. And since that time, the Dallas Cowboys have been 6-4. I know you guys won 2 last year by 4 points. And I know you did win 1 the year before when we didn't have Tony Romo. So, yes, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak, which you guys are great to point out. And I want to give you credit for that. But before that, we were 6-1. Let me say it again. We went 6-1, and then you won 3. 6-1, then you won 3. Okay. So it's not like you guys have done a whole lot other than that. Because since that Super Bowl win, you've only made the playoffs 1 time and lost in the first round. So, yes, we have 2 playoff wins since our last Super Bowl. I'm not satisfied with that. If you're satisfied with making the playoffs the first time since your last Super Bowl, then, hey, go ahead and be happy. But I'm looking for a ring. We got Daniel, of course. Daniel's always here. I don't know where Cruising is tonight. There's James West, Raymond, Pistol Pete, Robert, Clorox Bleach is still there. Let's see, Lawrence, Dallas Girl. Dallas Girl, actually, she was the one who was actually quoted in a video earlier today. She was talking to her dad about Zeke Elliot and football and all that. And he was basically talking about, oh, Zeke Elliott, that bad guy, he's going to be suspended and everything else, and he deserves to be suspended. And she started giving him some of the facts and stuff. This is, of course, before the NFL did the appeal. Started giving him some of the stuff that we've been talking about, the inconsistencies. And he's like, oh, I haven't heard that. And that's the thing that bothers me is First Take and those shows are so biased. They have been slamming Zeke Elliott. Oh, man, he should be suspended. You know, it's like, wait a minute. Have you looked at everything? Did you read the report? Did you investigate it? Because you guys have found saying he's guilty. And now that it's looking like he may not be guilty, are you guys retracting that and saying, oh, maybe we rushed to judgment too soon? No, they don't. And that really bothers me. If you're wrong, correct it. Man up to it. Own up to that you guys made a mistake. Because if you don't, you're no longer credible. It just tells me you'll throw anything out there. I take pride in trying to be right. And if I'm not sure about something, I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure about this, but this is what's being reported. And I'm going to look at everything myself and try and make a conclusion and tell you, this is what I think. This is what's going on. I don't think a lot of those guys do that. I don't think at all that they're anywhere close to any of that. We got Dallas Cowboys for life. We got Robert. We got James West. Xander. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Xander. That the Giant trolls are actually Dak Prescott trying to use reverse psychology. Yeah. Now that would be a funny. Bill B. Jerry. There's Jerry. There's Eric. There's Sarah Nicole. Well, how you doing, Sarah? We got another lady in the house. Thank you for joining in. Corey. Fat Ass. James West. Paul. Chris. Holy Ways. There's Holy Ways. Zeke does pot. Okay. All right. So Holy Ways. That's the best you can do, buddy. We got Jelly. We got Eric. Stepping Rubber. Jelly. Chris Shaw. The Blue Star. Kevin Back. Mr. Wright. David Cook. Wow, we got all kinds of people. There's a lot of new faces here tonight, and I want to welcome you guys all to the Jobu Sports Report, and welcome all the comments, all of the suggestions, and so on. Switzer, you know, that's the only drawback. Here's the only drawback of not having another game is a lot of guys that we could have seen, like Awuzie and Woods and Switzer, would have played last night had it not been for the hurricane and stuff. Basically they've got no game action because they've been injured all season, which kind of hurts you a bit finding out what they have. Noah Brown looks like he's going to be making the team, which means we got another receiver, and I wonder if that's one because he's a buddy of Zeke Elliott's, but if two, because Ryan Switzer hasn't been able to make it on the field, that they're not sure exactly what they have with him. I figure we'll keep an extra guy just in case, because, you know, he could be the real deal. You don't want to have another Danny Amendola that was in your camp that you let go and became a really good player elsewhere. So they're rolling the dice with with Noah Brown, because you got to like the size. How you doing, Dennis? Slapping Rubber, how you doing? Cyberlink, what's up? Giants are trash. Well, I got to tell you, I'm as excited as can be because, you know, a little over a week, we got the New York Giants and the beginning of the season. Shotty, I agree with you, man. We have not had a Pro Bowler in our secondary. But you would think, the way the talking heads have been talking about all the guys we lost in our secondary, that we lost all Pro Bowlers. But I agree. We need to have somebody in there that's going to be able to step up. I'm hoping that Byron Jones will be able to do something really well. T.J. Ward would be interesting to see if we can get him for the right price. He's going to have a lot of suitors out there if he ends up being being cut. I like that. Jarrah is mad as a blind dog in the meat room. Wow, that's a good one. I need to miss. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe since I gave Dak Prescott a Jobu T-shirt, maybe Dak, if you're watching, you can let me have a Mississippi State shirt. You know, 1 for 1 would be good. These guys are 22. Giants Eagle, okay. Lucky Whitehead. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that one. Apparently, Lucky Whitehead was trying to hook up with Zeke's ex. Okay. Well, you know what? I tell you what. If he didn't, he avoids a train wreck on that one. Uh-oh. We may have Law Nation joining us in the house tonight. Oh. Why is it ringing on everything but here? What question would that be, Mike? Okay.
Yes or no?
All right, hang on, guys. We are working on getting Law Nation here, joining us in the house. If you don't know who Law Nation is, then come out from under the rock, because you definitely need to know my man, because he knows it all as far as our Cowboys go. And I know he's got some interesting takes on our Zeke Elliott situation. If we can get the call in. Law, are you there?
Yeah, I'm live in the flesh. Are you guys able to hear me, see me, feel me, touch me?
Well, hey, man, you know, I like doing all that, but I don't know about trying to feel you and touch you and all that, man. I have no picture of you, though.
It's okay, man. You guys don't have to see my mug, man.
Okay.
Free my brother Zeke. I'm about to say something else, but free Zeke.
Oh, Zeke definitely is the freak.
Yeah, free the Zeke.
How much have you heard lately on that whole situation?
Man, I just want everybody to go out and find Kim Roberts. She got a wonderful LinkedIn page. You guys can go to that page, support her, and let her know that, hey, I congratulate her for stepping out on a limb, because, you know, she can lose her job after this, you know.
Oh, I guarantee you she won't have a job in the NFL anymore.
Right.
That's a known fact. This is kind of like what I said. If you're the legal team, you got to flood. You got to find, hopefully, the person who was in a fight with Tiffany. And I said, but you got to hit them with everybody as possible. Put as much information out there and make you have the doubts. And boy, did they come out with some stuff. Now, I don't know if you heard. How you doing tonight, Jackie? I'm glad to see you, and I hope Sarah's somewhere close behind too. Apparently, the question of Boobygate came up.
Right.
Did you hear about that?
No, I
his response.
They kind of excused that.
Because they basically asked him. They said, "Well, look, you pulled a woman's top down. What was going on there?" And he said, "Well, she's not mad at me because we were having sex later on that day." Hey,
well,
yeah,
that's typical, man. Kia Roberts, my bad. I said Kim Roberts earlier, but yeah, if he said that, man, come on, man, we've all been 20, 21 years old. I mean, we all had that type of situation that happened to us in college,
Well, like I said, my nickname in college was Crazy Mark, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so some of the things I did in college, I wouldn't want my kids to know about. You know what I'm saying? And thank God there was not, internet back then, because I'd have all kinds of stuff out there. So yeah, we all have some indiscretions, but unfortunately, Zeke Elliott, basically with that star on his helmet, has a target on his back. If he becomes my baby daddy, I'm going to get paid. If I catch him doing something, I can get a picture to TMZ, I'm going to get paid. If I can get him to hit me, I can sue him and get paid. So either way, people are out not only just to get that picture or stuff with you, people are out to get you. And he's got to understand that I can't go out and do this stuff. He may dodge a bullet here. But you know that anywhere he goes, everything he does, he's going to get scrutinized. He's going to have to do it twice as good as everybody else, or else they're going to come down on him. They're going to look for payback.
This should be his wake-up call. Like, wake up, brother.
And, that's what I'm talking about, Boobygate. I'm like, I understand what he was doing and everything else, but I'm not saying he was in the right to do what he did. Understand the circumstances, but it's not what you want to do being in the position that he's in. Now, if it was Gronkowski, it'd be a different story. He could get away with that. But for some other reason, I don't know why a Cowboy player can't seem to get away with the same stuff that Gronkowski can.
Yeah, but it is what it is. People can't get away with anything on the Cowboys as it relates to, like, for example, Geronimo Allison that played for the Green Bay,
right,
had the same offense that my guy Demontre Moore had. You know, so he gets one game, Demontre Moore gets two. So it's just what it is.
Oh, it always is, because think about Gillette, who plays for the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up getting arrested for domestic violence and all that, and he got a 2-game suspension, which he was able to serve his suspension while he was on injured reserve. Now, this fool, this past summer, got in a fight or something or other on the beach and got tased by the police. Nothing. And you would think that Zeke Elliot is the only person that somebody has accused of domestic violence, but we have guys that are convicted that they're not going through all this stuff. So I'm just trying to understand the mentality of the NFL going whole ham on him when he wasn't even arrested or convicted of anything.
Right, or the kid that played wide receiver for the from LSU. He plays wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah,
he had some transgressions with his wife. I believe they got into a domestic dispute, and we have yet to even crack a story on that.
Right,
you know?
you hear if he's being investigated or what. But I got to tell you, after this one, I think the NFL needs to get out of the investigation business, because in my mind, it's like this: they can't get some of the calls right in games. Okay?
Right.
Okay, if you can't make judgment calls in games right, how do you think that you're going to go ahead and be, law and order? How do you think that you're going to be out there and you're saying that we are so good that we're better than the police department? That doesn't mean anything. To me, that opens up the door for the NFLPA to say in court, they're overreaching and we want some of that power back and screw them. And I think that's what's scaring the NFL right now, because Zeke is a pawn in the battle that's going to be coming in 2021, in my mind. The NFLPA is trying to jockey for position when that new collective bargaining comes around, and they're itching to try and get this kicked to the Supreme Court. And I think they thought they were going to get it with Tom Brady, but Tom Brady finally said, you know what, that's enough of it. And I think that somehow the NFL got to him and said, you know what, we need you to just take one for the team. Because it's bigger than about you in 4 games. It's about us having the power and everything else in the NFL. You only have a couple of years left in here. Don't worry. We're going to make sure that you get a Super Bowl this year. And it's kind of funny that all of a sudden things just kind of seem to go right there in that game. But I'm not putting any conspiracy theories out there. But you understand that thing, he had a good chance of maybe making some headway in the Supreme Court if he had taken it that far.
Yes, they should be wise enough to just back off of things. But I don't think the NFL is so stubborn, so stupid, such a silly type of league that they're going to try to push this out. So I think that Zeke Elliot is going to push it out too as well. His legal department is going to just push this thing out if they don't give him 0 games.
Well, that's about it. To me, they can't. Okay, they have to stay at 6 games because they already made their bet on. We believe he did domestic violence. They had taken off the whole booby gate off the table. Okay, so if your story is we're doing 6 games minimum for that, you can't reduce it to 2 or 3. You either have to throw it all the way out, cut bait and run, or you got to stick with the 6. But now here's the interesting point: is Tuesday is the appeal, not the appeal hearing. The court hearing is Tuesday at 5:00, which means there's a stay right now. And to me, I believe that is going to be past the time that the suspension would be active for Sunday. So I can almost guarantee you that Zeke Elliott will be playing against those Giants, which is part of the reason why I think a lot of those trolls aren't here tonight.
Right. They want to understand and know that the Giants can't push the ball down the field. I don't think that Eli Manning is a technician of the game. Now, the defense is pretty good. Now, I'm not going to lie on that. But I really think that their defense versus our offense last year, not like they kind of like, a lot of people saying like they just dominated all across the board, but they kind of won total games of 2, about, was it 4 points overall collectively?
Okay, let's go back to that first one.
Yeah, let's break down
that first game. Remember, Dak Prescott, first game in the NFL. And remember, literally, he had 2 weeks of being the starter to prepare for that game. All right? Even with that, they end up losing by what, 1 point?
Yeah,
okay.
They lost by one point.
Had Cole Beasley held onto the ball there at the 5-yard line, somebody who never drops the ball, then we got a touchdown, they probably would have won that game. Had Dez Bryant not had a no catch in the end zone, let's say that was the catch, they probably would have won that game. Had Terrence Williams gotten out of bounds, they probably could have kicked field goal and won that game. So it wasn't like we didn't have opportunities. It wasn't like we got blown out 50-3.
Did Dan Bailey miss a kick earlier that game?
He did miss a kick earlier in that game. So, again, congratulations, Giants. You got that game.
Hey, don't forget about the curtains, too, as well. That sunlight was in our eyes, you know.
But there you go, too. The second game, oh, my God. Now, if we had any secondary that could hold on to the ball instead of having plywood hands, the way Eli Manning was literally throwing to him, it should have been 6 interceptions in that game. But again, Giants, you got that game. And you know what? Hats off to you guys. I'll be the first one to admit you won the games. You did what you needed to do to win. But Eli Manning is still a turnover machine. You still don't have an offensive line. And you still don't have a running game.
Yeah. So, you know, salute to those who are in the chat box. They've been seeing a guy named Daniel. He said the Cowboys going to start 0-2. Remember the last time the Cowboys started 0-2, they won the Super Bowl.
There you go.
Hey, I would take that. I would take that 0-2. But still at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, how is the actual Eli Giants going to be able to push that ball down the field? You know, I just don't see it. I just can't see it.
We don't know if Odell's going to play, and if Odell does play, how good is he going to be with that ankle? And no, I'm not drunk. I'm a little tired. Actually, this is the first drink that I've actually had all day. Joe Boo's been actually throwing it all down. The question, I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Boy, maybe I am drunk. Somebody was talking about the live stream. How long is the live stream? These things, I'm sorry, are flying through so fast it's hard to keep up with them. How long have we been live streaming? I've been live streaming at least today since 9 o'clock. But we've been doing live streams since about the middle of last season. But we normally will do them Friday nights and then Monday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern both times. So that's that. We may change that up during the season. Instead of Monday nights, we might do it differently, but we'll figure that out as we go on.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and you got a good time slot for this live stream so everybody can be put up to date on the Cowboys. And for those Giant fans in the chat box, look at this right here. Just pay attention to this. Who had more sacks last year, the Giants or the Cowboys? I'm waiting. You know what I mean?
Cowboys actually did.
Huh?
I think didn't we have more sacks than them?
We actually did.
Yes, so we had more sacks than them. Yeah.
Yeah, so although they trying to pump up their defensive line, our trash defensive line is a saying we have more sacks.
Right,
so
yeah.
And then you're talking about another year in the system with then you have the Stephen Payas of the world, and you have
who's been looking really good. Probably will be a
really
starter.
solid, collapse in the pocket, and then you got Collins playing now. He have a whole offseason this year.
That's right.
Watch out for Malik Collins, man. He's going to be something else out there for real.
And I think Taco's going to have a pretty good season as a rookie. I love that first quick step of his when he starts learning how to do combination moves and things. Watch out. And if he can really get that balance, the thing he does, he is so quick getting upfield. He's a little bit out of control that when he gets hit in that shoulder, that sometimes he kind of loses his balance a little bit and kind of has to grab the ground a bit. When he starts getting his balance on those rushes, he's going to be a beast coming around that outside edge with that quick step. Lisa Farrell needs to be fired. Well, actually, Byron, she was actually one of the ones that said, and again, I'm defending her because I laid out on quite a few videos earlier about her being a diehard Giant fan. But she was also one of the ones that said that she can't sign off on this because there's too many inconsistencies and Tiffany's testimony, as well as Kia Roberts basically saying, "I'm sorry, I can't. I don't recommend suspending the guy because it's too much stuff that just doesn't make sense." And it's interesting that she was the only person that was in contact with Tiffany. She's the only person that talked to him. And I wonder if that's because when she came back and said she's not a credible witness, it was better for the NFL to just kind of say, you know what, let's just leave that alone and maybe it'll just get ignored. So we don't get, too many stories where they're all different. And Corey, I definitely want the Cowboy chips. I've gotten a couple people who have emailed me and made comments and stuff on there, and I've been real busy trying to keep up with the Zeke Elliot situation and working and stuff. But yes, I definitely want some of those Tostitos chips, and I've got to just figure out what's the best way to get you guys squared away. But yes, definitely. If you want to email me on my website, the link is actually up, and we'll go up here. Go ahead and email me, and then that way I can contact you, maybe PayPal you or something or other for the expense of it.
Oh yeah, so if we look at this thing tomorrow, tomorrow's kind of sort of like a holiday back for us.
Yeah.
You got the free agencies that's going to be out there. You're going to have a lot of veterans that's going to be released. So I think there's something that's going on with Will McClay. He got something rolled up his sleeve. So I meant to say. So it's going to be something tomorrow, though, guys.
Well, I think we'll definitely. We got 1,000+ players that are going to be released, and it looks like Noah Brown's coming back. What do you think about that one?
Well, Noah Brown is one of those reclamation projects, meaning that he got the size, he got the strength. Route need to be more precise, but he can body people out. So I kind of predicted that if he makes the 53-man roster, if not that they already put out the 53-man roster, I think that he's a good wide receiver that can grow with the team. And he's just a higher prospect than the Lance Lenores of the world and Andy Jones, who couldn't stay healthy. So and then Noah Brown had that background of playing in the big games. So hopefully, although he played football with Zeke Freak, so hopefully he'll be formidable to this team this coming season. Maybe you'll see him play more week 5, week 6, but I don't think that he's going to be active every game.
Right. The only thing that makes me look at that is we've got a lot of wide receivers and stuff, and sometimes, if you overload on one position, that you're kind of, a little shallow on some of these other ones. I'd almost like to have a few more defensive linemen because, we've got a lot of guys in there. It's going to be interesting to see who gets cut out of that because you think about Collins, you think about DeMarcus Lawrence, you think about Tyrone Crawford, you think about Tapper, Stephen Paea, you've got
number 66, that number 66.
Yeah, so it becomes the number. There's a lot of guys you want to hold on to, but you can't keep everybody. So who's a guy that you think that's going to get cut that we're going to look back and say, ooh, man?
I think some of the rookies that we signed, the Carroll kid that's on the defensive line, the number 74, the guy that's not representing Bob Lilly's number as much as we like. I think they can't wait to snatch their jersey off of him. It's just one of those things that the only reason why some of these players on the team is because of the suspensions, though. They might sneak through.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Ronnie Hillman, we already know he got cut. So I'm thinking that, of course, Ronnie Hillman.
Brown. There was another guy, Brown something.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah.
Ryan Brown, number 18, yeah.
Right, we just signed him like last week from. Yeah, literally, he basically came in and had a cup of coffee. Yeah, he came in and had a cup of coffee and said, "Hey, bye-bye." From Pittsburgh, I want to say.
Yeah, I think he was.
He was drafted by Pittsburgh. Or was signed by Pittsburgh or something like that.
Drafted this year.
More sucks ass. Okay. Somebody had commented to think that he must have a naked picture of Scott Linehan or something or other, and that's why he's still on the team. It's something.
His dad, Kellen Moore's dad, played with Linehan. They from the same hometown
there you go.
or something like that.
Yeah, that must be it then. ESP needs to find me. I appreciate that. They're probably putting a hit out on me now, I'm sure, because I've got a response for Stephen A. I'm gonna put my suit back on and I'm going after him because I got to tell you, I like Stephen A. Smith, and I understand it's his gig to talk about the Cowboys because he knows that's your bread and butter. if I say something bad about the Cowboys, it's going to piss off the Cowboy fan base, and it's going to make everybody else who hates the Cowboys happy. So I understand that. But the way he did this whole situation, it really bothers me because they're slandering these guys. Dez Bryant has a reputation of being a thug because of the video that was out there that was 10 times worse than Ray Rice. Or the police have been called to Dez Bryant's house 6 times. You make you think that he's answered the door carrying an AK-47, and a kilo of coke or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when that tape never came out, you never hear these guys say, you know what? We were wrong. There's nothing to it. But what's left in people's mind, because they've heard it so many times, Dez Bryant's a thug.
Right.
The police go to his house all the time. He beats women. And unfortunately, that's the narrative that you get on him. The guy actually does quite a bit of stuff charity-wise and everything else. He is a team locker room guy. And it's gotten to the point where you remember when he was on the sidelines in that game with Tony Romo, and they were like, there's no place for this. He's going off on Tony Romo. He should be. And in fact, he was like, Tony Romo, we're the best in the league, man. If we do da-da-da-da-da, they can't stop us, man. They can't stop us. And it's kind of like, that's unfortunately the narrative that's given to him. Now, I'm not saying that Zeke Elliott is perfect. Zeke Elliott admits that he's not perfect. But a lot of the stuff that's gone towards him, to me, is a lot worse sounding than what reality is. Because in people's mind, he punched a guy in the face in the bar. He carried a gun into a club. He's pulling women's tops down. Well, okay, let's go to the situation. I'm not saying that he was right on that one, but it was somebody he was sleeping with and doing stuff with. He's not supposed to pull him out in public, but it wasn't like he just went up to some woman at the damn mall and just said, let me pull your top down and show your boobies.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it's always portrayed. So now he is labeled as this guy who's, Gronk, but for some reason Gronk is okay.
Right. The double-sidedness and the fickle process of how the NFL views and how the talking media. But today, and I mean absolutely today, was the best day for any Cowboys fan to watch the First Take or Undisputed, because we had to watch them backpedal, eat their words. Especially the chick that get on my nerves now is this Molly character. She don't have no objectivity. She's a diehard Giants fan. And salute to the guy who put the money in for the for the chat box, man.
About
Josh,
Daniel.
man, 24.
We won't read that quote. You guys can read that one, but he's going after Daniel. The only thing I ask of you Giant trolls, because you guys have been strong for about the last 3 weeks, if you happen to lose, please man up. Come back in here just as strong. I'll be here. If we lose, I'm going to say congratulations and give you a slow clap. Okay? I'm not going to run and hide at the first sign of trouble. Just make sure you guys do the same. Well, Daniel, you know what, dude? I tell you what. If the Giants lose and you show up, I'm going to be sure to send you a Jobu shot glass on the house. Okay? That's my promise to you. Because I respect a guy. I respect fans of other teams that can man up when their team is down, because that's what it's all about to me. So when are you gonna start breaking down your film for the Giant game next week?
Are you talking about before or after?
Before things to look
for the games, like people to look for. I have yet to see. I'm in the process of moving. I'll be in Dallas on September the 5th. So until my house closed, I'll be staying, in the Addison area. Wow. But so I just I probably don't have the equipment and everything to break things down. So it may be like a watered down breakdown, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes on someone.
Well, I believe the key, of course, for our team is going to be, as usual, ball control. We need to hold on to the ball as long as possible and keep our defense off the field. And I think if we end up doing that, taking our time, methodically working our way down the field, we're going to be okay in wearing out that defense. I'm not too worried about the Giants scoring a whole lot of points. I'll be honest, the Giants' offense didn't show me much of anything. And with Brandon Marshall and Odell basically not really playing much in preseason, I think that they're going to take some time before they're going to be ready, if Odell is even playing in that game. So, Mike, if you want a shirt, anybody who wants a shirt, and believe me, I went actually today. I think I sent out 12 of them. I appreciate. Thank you, Dak Prescott. If anybody else, Dak, if you happen to be listening to this, if anybody else on the Cowboys wants a shirt, let me know, and I will get them sent down to Dallas. But any of you guys that want one of the Cowboy Jobu shirts, just go to my website here. When you get on the website, go down past Facebook, and you'll see the links for the shot glasses and stuff like that. I'm actually sending out a bunch more tomorrow morning. So if you hit me tonight, it will be in the mail tomorrow morning before 11 o'clock.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
The thing is, the key to the Giants' victory, if they want to add that up there, as far as what we need to look for, as far as the Cowboys, the key to the Giants has always been if you can manage to get the ball out of Eli Manning's hand and have the actual running back to run the ball, and pretty much the tight end. So run the ball, tight end, run the ball, tight end.
Right.
Seams up the middle, things like that. For all those Giants fans out there who pretty much don't have time to study and look at the tape, that's been the pedigree with the Giants for them to win the game is to actual run the ball and play sound defense. So if you can get the Giants to play one dimensional, and that means that they can't run the ball. And I think they got some rookie called Goldman or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going to have the pedigree to run the ball 20 to 25 times. And I just don't see them. I think even though Rashad Jennings was kind of blows, he didn't do that great last year, but he was a veteran. He was crafty enough. Now they have this guy named Orleans Darkwa. He's pretty good inside. He can run inside pretty good. I don't think he don't have the speed enough to get to the outside. He's a very vertical type of running back. So that's east and north and south type of running back. So he's one of those guys that we will really have to pay attention to, especially, and I mean especially since we don't have a key signature on our linebacker. Our middle linebacker is going to be the key to him.
That's going to be the scary part. And that may be one of the moves I think that we're going to be looking at. It's definitely going to be looking long and hard tomorrow at middle linebacker to see what's out there. Not to have anything yet against Jalen Smith, but he still looks a little bit slow to me right now, and still I don't think he's ready to be every down type player. He needs a little more time, I think, and I'm afraid if they throw him in there to try and be a starter right now, that it's going to really stunt his development coming off that injury. And that's the worry for me on the defense.
Look up for him.
So, and of course, the key for me is we need to get that pass rush going. To give our cornerbacks a little bit more time to get used to playing. We've had so many hamstring pulls during training camp and stuff. A lot of these guys really haven't played together yet, and that's one of those things that always worries me as well. Is it takes time to get used to playing with the guy next to you and learning out the whole scheme as well as what other people are doing. I remember when we would play, sometimes we could freelance because I could give the guy next to me a little signal and he knew what I was going to do, or I would see something that he didn't see or somebody else didn't see where we could make a play. And that takes time to develop that chemistry. And so if we can develop a pass rush, and I feel good about the teams that we're playing up front to begin the season. We're basically going strength against strength. The Giants is definitely defense. And so when you're looking at their offense is not something to fear where you're looking at running a track meet. And then same thing with Denver. I think Denver's going to have problems with their quarterback and their offense as well. I think it's a good defense, although I don't think it's as good as it was 2 years ago. Okay? And then you've got Arizona. I think Carson Palmer is over the hill and on the downside, and I'm not afraid of anybody other than Larry Fitzgerald in that offense. So I think we may have some time to get these guys up to speed towards the middle of the season. I'm hoping before we play some of the elite quarterbacks.
Okay, yeah. So those elite quarterbacks can. And let me tell you something about Rod Marinelli's defense. It's the easiest defense to play against when you're a veteran quarterback. Tom Brady would eat our defense up because it's a cover two, and basically, if you don't have anybody that can get off to the edge and get to Tom,
that's the key on it.
It just. Right. So a quarterback like Tom Brady. So that's when we look down at our schedule. We need to look at all of the veteran quarterbacks that we have played against this year. because we got these rookies out here in the backfield. And we know that the cover 2, you got to fly to the ball. You got to play sound, disciplined ball. And like I said, you guys to worry about that for the first 2 or 3 weeks because these guys just ain't going to know everything. And the thing that scares me is that at times, Byron Jones tends to come up into the box when he plays cover 2. He's supposed to stay out and back. So you saw that play against the Raiders when not Brandon Carr. What's that quarterback name? Derek Carr, right?
Derek Carr, yeah.
Derek Carr threw to Cooper. Byron Jones was in the right position, but he was too close up on the line. Well, he was too close up into the to the box. He's supposed to be a little further back, and it would have been an easy pick for him. But he was just too close up into that area on that zone, on the cover 2 zone, and he allowed the Cooper to get behind him. So that things that I'm worried about. So hopefully this when they release these players tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a veteran, just one veteran that we can put out there. I'm leaning on TJ Ward. This is just a wishful thinking, but because we got the cachet. Because even if the Broncos release him, they would save about $10 million against the cap.
Right. Yeah.
They're still 0-4, but and we could just pick him up for veteran minimum, or we could just really pay this man about $6 or $7 million.
We've got true, and basically rent him for 2 seasons. I mean, we have $15.5 million on the cap. You're going to use probably 5 or 6 of that when you try and get that long-term deal with Zach Martin. You're going to end up making that deal so that way it's kinder down the road. So that still can leave you with about $9 or $10 million to play with. I'm not necessarily looking to spend all of that, but if you think that this is the team that can go all the way, if you could add a piece or two, and you're not selling out your future, I think it's a possibility. Weston wants to know why Zeke isn't playing in Week 1, and what I want to know is where have you been? Did you literally just get dropped off on Earth, and that's why you don't know what's been going on with Zeke? I don't know how you couldn't know about the whole situation. My take is, and I've been saying this for a while, that Zeke will be playing Week 1 by hook or crook, either by the NFL dropping the case or him going to court. And it looks like they're already going to court. And the hearing isn't until 5 o'clock Tuesday. And I believe with it being that late, it will be too late for them to reinstate the suspension. So I think he'll be playing at least game 1. So Giant fans, hold on to your hats. Zeke will be out there.
Right. And then what that does when Zeke is out there, guys, it brings more guys into the box, like your Landon Collins of the world and whoever the other safety is out there. And you're going to have Cromartie scratching his head trying to figure out where Cole Beasley is located at.
The Cole Beasley,
and that's going to put you one-on-one. I'm telling you guys right now against Dez, against you guys, Jack Rabbit. I can't wait for this, man. I'm ready. I'm going to have live phone calls, everything. I'm going to be ready for you guys this week. You know what I mean?
I still believe
against that,
I believe that Dez is going to have a career year this year. I think this year he's going to be showing everybody, because there's a lot of people that are questioning whether or not he's still, a top 10 receiver and things, or an elite receiver. He's going to show them this year with Dak. And I got to tell you, I'm excited this could be for Dak Prescott. He is the real deal. And he's going to show the world that, y'all screwed up by not drafting me. Y'all screwed up by doubting me. I'm going to keep on doing my thing.
Hey, Mark, did we forget that Zeke can catch the ball now out of the backfield?
Yeah, and, when I was there at training camp, man, they were working a lot of passing routes with him out of the backfield. So, that's another, element to the backfield. And the other thing that people don't talk much about that's key with that, with him is his blocking ability. He is knocking people out when he's and if he's able to go ahead and do that, quick help the tackle or help the tight end, just kind of give that forearm stuff as he's going out, he is going to be deadly. You get him the ball in space, oh man, yeah. So there's going to be so much stuff that's being added to this offense that I mean, if you're a defensive coordinator, you want to be scared. I like Victor's comment. Wait, people think Eli is good?
This is the luckiest guy in life, man.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say Eli's a decent quarterback. He's not the trashiest of the trash. He's a decent quarterback who had a great. I'm talking about an absolute great defense behind him, and he had a decent running game behind him when he won those 2 Super Bowls. He actually did us a favor by knocking Tom Brady down twice. So. He made it Tom Brady with 7 rings,
Oh, man, yeah. And I think that's what New England's really trying to shoot for this year. When you look at them getting out of what their norm is of building a team and they're going out and getting all those extra free agents, I think they realize that the end is near. We want to try and make sure we get another one before we lose him. Shallow Hal was saying, who's going to cover Brandon Marshall? Everybody keeps talking about Brandon Marshall like, he's 22, 23 years old. He's not a spring chicken anymore, and he's been declining. I'm not sure he's as big a threat as everybody thinks he is. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, man, Brandon Marshall got a problem to deal with because, for one, I don't think he got the continuity with the Eli Mannings of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, too, as well, he just don't have that straight line speed that you would like to see out there on the field.
Not anymore.
Not trying to say that he's going to be garbage. He probably do something for the first quarter, but I don't see him doing everything like 4 quarters out of there. I don't think he had that stamina.
No, I don't think he does. I think he's lost a step too. But time will tell. You really don't know what you got until about really October. You're gonna have a couple of teams that are kind of come out there and they're gonna surprise you, and all of a sudden you think, man, that team's going to the Super Bowl, and then they're gonna fall flat on their face. We've seen the Cardinals come out there, start 4-0, and then proceed to lose about every other game. So it takes a little time to see which teams are really going to be the horses and stuff on there. And like I said, I just can't wait. Next Sunday can't get here soon enough.
Hey, Mark, you know what this Giants team reminds me of?
What's that?
That year that the Cowboys had, Roy Williams, they had the T.O. of the world, they had all these guys out here. And our defense, believe it or not, was still top 10 even in that year. I forgot what year it was. I think it was Parcells last year.
Probably 2005, 2006.
No. I think it was the year after that. I think
2007.
Camp Cupcake.
Yeah. Okay. So
where we had top defense, but we just didn't have nobody to protect Romo. So. That's what they remind me of, just a little bit, with all these top guys that they picked up.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they remind me of. I think I don't think they're going to have that type of season, but that's who they remind me. They can't protect the quarterback, so.
Yeah. That they can't. They, right now, they definitely look pretty bad. And the Eagles are another one that looks like they're not going to be able to protect the quarterback, regardless of everybody talking about how good that offensive line is, that they may be better than the Cowboys. That last preseason game they had with Carson Wentz, they pulled him out of the first quarter because he was getting knocked around left and right. So they may end up having some issues.
Right. Eagles' biggest mistake, they went for flash in the pan. Mm-hmm. They should have went with an offensive line, and they should have drafted a running back. I don't know why they just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Now that Pilfrey, whatever the guy kid named 4th round, he's decent enough, but he's nothing to scare you out there. So. It's more of the same.
Donovan said Giants offense literally puts fear in no one. Oh, wow. That's cold.
Right.
New York. Boy, these guys are hard on this guy. Oh, man. They are going after him. But I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock already. I'm going to give you the last word. What is it that you want our Cowboy fans and stuff to think about going to this week? What is the key thing that they need to focus on?
The key thing is tomorrow is going to make or break this defense that we have out the field. I think that the key element is to find a veteran guy to just coach and just be that present out there for the team. If we can do that, then we can go further this year. We can go further anyway, but it's just one of those things that I really want us to do is just have one of those veteran guys because we just had too much injury out there as far as the rookies this year.
Well, for me, what I want people to focus on when the game's on the line, get your rum and your Coke, get your cigar, get your chicken wings, and just start saying mojo, 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 because we need to spread that mojo for our Dallas Cowboys as far as we can go with it, and I'm looking for a great season. You never know how it's going to end up, but I feel good about the team that we put together. I don't know that we could have done much better than what we've done thus far. And we got one more super chat here.
One hell of a job, and only thing else I got to say
yes,
is,
indeed.
how
That's his name. 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Thank you very much, 10 p.m.
Sterling.
Yeah. Keep up the comment. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody who has ordered shirts, and they're all in the mail right now, except for the 2 that just have been ordered in the last couple hours. Those will be in there tomorrow morning. And if anybody else wants to get one in the mail tomorrow, go ahead and go to my website right here, cowboyjoeboo.com, and go ahead and order one. And all the proceeds are going to help support the Joe Boo Sports Report. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for all the support and being here for part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. And I especially want to thank Law Nation. And if you have not subscribed yet to Law Nation, what the hell are you waiting for? Because my man is the best, and I mean the best on YouTube. So as always, friends, I want to thank you guys one more time, and I will see you here soon.